Okay, so hi everybody, my name is Anna Cishak and I'm language coordinator in Lionbridge, and I'm currently taking care of a team of language coordinators who take care of on-demand projects. This session will be devoted to LTB, Linguistic Toolbox, and we have our Lionbridge LTB specialist on the call, Martina Goss, who will be helping us answering all your questions as soon as we are done with the presentation. So I hope everybody can see my desktop and the presentation devoted to Linguistic Toolbox. Okay, quite a lot of translators have problems generating LTB reports, and as you already know, LTB report is one of mandatory deliverables in on-demand. So we basically request all translators to deliver the report regardless of the word count, and this is because this is one of actually not quite many quality assurance checks in on-demand, and that's why it's very important to always deliver the LTB report. First of all, you need to have the latest LTB version installed locally on your computer. And you also need to know which TM needs to be used to perform translation. And this is because we background LTB configurations to the translation memories. The information on correct LTB configuration as well as on the correct translation memory to be used is provided to you in the TMS notification email you get whenever there is a translation task available for you. So you need to go into the TMS notification and you can see the TM to be used and the LTB configuration to be used there. And of course you need a token to be able to work with the translation memory. You can generate it automatically via the TMS, and if you're having problems generating the token to a TM, you can always contact us and we'll provide you with a token. So as soon as you're done with the translation, you need to open the Linguistic Toolbox, and I will show you how to do it. You need to log in into the LTB with the same credentials you use for logging into Translation Workspace. Okay, apparently I'm using incorrect credentials. I will try again. Oops. You always need to make sure that your caps lock is disabled, because otherwise you may have problems getting in. And this is what happened in my case, actually. Okay, and the first thing you need to do is to choose your language pair. If you don't do that in the first place, you won't be able to run QA checks properly. This is very important because if you don't do that, the LTB configurations will not work as expected. So let's say that I'm a translator working in English-French pair. So I'm setting English as a source language and French as a target language. Then I need to go to File. In my case, it's Manage Configurations, but in your case, it will be Load Configuration. And then I need to go to Translation Workspace tab, and again I need to log in with my TW credentials. Okay, and as you can see, LTB wants me to install Translation Workspace client update. So, as you can see, it happens quite often, and actually this is why some of you contact us. As you can see, there is an error saying that there is an instance of MS Word running in the background. So I need to make sure that all MS Word documents are closed. So I need to close the LTB instructions I had opened. Okay.
I'm afraid we can see it once again. Okay.
Okay, and as you can see, LTB still doesn't want to update, and it's actually quite funny. Even though I've actually closed the MS Word document, LTB still insists on me closing all the documents. And in this case, you actually need to shut the LTB down, because actually LTB is detected as an instance of MS Word. Okay. So now I need to update the Translation Workspace client. And once it's updated, I need to open the LTB again, providing my TW password. And I need to choose the correct language pair again. I need to go to Manage Configuration, in your case Load Configuration, and I need to log in into TW. Okay, and the list of available TMs, the TMs available to you, because the list of TMs available to me is much longer, probably than yours, will be available in the window on the left-hand side. So I need to, okay, let's say that I'm working on a translation, and I need to use Documents on Demand Generic TM, because this is the TM you will probably be using most frequently. Okay, so this is the TM I'm looking for, and as you can see, the LTB configuration backgrounded to this TM will be available in the window on the right-hand side. So this is the TM I'm looking for, and this is the LTB configuration I need to download. Okay, so I've already downloaded the LTB configuration. And all I need to do is to drag and drop the XLZ files I want to run the report on into the input files, and then I need to hit the Start button to run the report. And this is actually all you need to do to have the correct LTB configuration downloaded from the LTB tool, and to have the LTB report generated. Once you are ready with the report, you need to review it, you need to comment on it, and you need to send it to us along with the translated XLZ files. And okay, sorry, just a note for the Japanese and Chinese translators. Unfortunately, Linguistic Toolbox doesn't support spelling in case of these two languages, so you need to disable the spelling check before you run the LTB report, and you need to disable it here before running the report. Okay, once the report is ready and commented, you need to send it back along with the translated files. And this is, again, quite problematic for some of you. Sometimes we fail your deliverables because of missing LTB reports, and later on you contact us letting us know that you've actually delivered the report. So the problem is that you need to put the LTB report, the commented LTB report, into the deliverables folder you had checked out along with the XLZ files for translation. If you don't put it there, we probably won't be able to find it in the TMS. When you put the LTB report into the deliverables folder and save the translator XLZ file or files next to that folder and zip the entire folder and check it into the TMS, the LTB report automatically will automatically gets associated, connected with the XLZ file, and we will be able to track it down quite easily. If you don't do it, we may have problems finding the LTB report, and we may fail your deliverables. So you need to check out the files from the translation step. You need to unzip the entire folder you've checked out for translation. Obviously, you need to translate the XLZ file or files, and then you need to run the report. You need to put the unzipped LTB report into the deliverables folder. Then you need to zip everything together, check it into the TMS, and complete your task. And this is one of the ways to deliver all the files successfully. Okay, so I believe this is actually everything from my end when it comes to generating the LTB report and sending it back to us. Sorry. So I think that we can now start the question and answer session. Okay, so I can see that you've already started asking questions in the message box. Anya Gostikowska, would you like to unmute the phones? I don't know, maybe it will be a bit easier to ask and answer the questions.
Yes, I'm just doing it. So
okay,
just give me a minute, okay?
Okay, no worries. Okay, so there's a question: is it required to upload the LTB report to references section as well? No, it's not necessary. We will get the report as long as you upload it, as I've already showed to you. So you need to put it into the deliverables folder, the one you've checked out along with the XLZ files for translation. Okay. Another question is about an error message saying that an alias was suspended or revoked, and yeah, it may happen if you no longer have an access to the TM, the one backgrounded to the one with which the LTB config is backgrounded to. So basically, you need to get a new token, or you need to generate the token anew to connect to the TM and to download the LTB config. Okay. Translation workspace client is not installed. So first of all, you need to install have the translation workspace client installed. So you need to go to. Okay, just a second. You need to go to translationworkspace.com. And you need to download the client from there. Okay, so basically you need to get into translate.translationworkspace.com with your TW credentials. You need to go to resources. Okay. Sorry, let me log in with my Lionbridge credentials. Because for some reason the vendor account is not working for me as expected. But the interface won't be much different for you in this case. So you need to go to resources, you need to go to download, and you need to download Microsoft Word plugin and Translation Workspace Tools client. If this is what the LTB was asking you to do. And the other tool you can download from here is the Translation Workspace XLIF editor. So this is the tool you use to translate the XLZ files. Okay, another question is, where do I comment in the LTB report? Okay. Let me look up one of the LTB reports for you. Okay, so once the LTB report is generated, you should see 3 tabs inside for commenting. One of them is segment checker, the other one is speller, the third one is term and punctuation checker. And basically the ignore tab column is for commenting. And this is where you can choose from ignore or mark. So whenever an issue is a false positive issue, you just choose mark. And whenever an issue is a true positive issue, you need to choose mark. And it means that this particular issue have already been corrected in your in the XLZ file you've delivered. Okay.
Where is it written? It's written as such.
Okay, so we have a question from Manuela, who's saying that she usually comments as fixed. Yeah, it's also okay for us. The only thing is that you actually have a drop-down list, so you don't have to type anything. You can just choose from the two options which are available already in the report. Also, if you are using the filter using previous reports option, it will not work correctly if you're using comments other than mark and ignore. But as far as we and our internal checks are concerned, we are okay with other comments than mark. Yes, and correct. If you comment it with mark, it means that the issue in the report was a valid issue and it needed to be fixed in the translated files. And if an issue has been marked with ignore, it means that it was a non-issue and it can be ignored. Okay. So you need to translate the XLZ files, obviously, and once the files are translated, you need to run the LTB report. And the LTB report needs to be generated before the files are delivered to us. And actually, we expect that the XLZ files are final and that they are free of any issues. So actually, you should fix all the issues you've seen in the LTB report before the files are delivered to us. And once the translation is completed on your end, and we receive the files for our internal quality assurance checks, we then go into the LTB report. We check if a correct configuration has been used and if a report has been commented. And whenever we notice any issues with the LTB reports or with the XLZ files, we may fail the deliverables and the report, and you should receive implement corrections step. And whenever you receive this implement corrections step, it may mean that we couldn't find the LTB report, it hasn't been commented, or there was some other issue with your deliverables, but then everything should be explained in a task message you receive along with the implement corrections step. And then you should check out the files from that particular step, and you should redeliver the files with all the fixes included. Okay. Okay, Martina, would you know if there are any issues of incompatibility with certain antivirus programs? Because actually, I'm not sure about this one.
Hello. Do we have any particular antivirus program in mind, or is it just a general remark? I mean, did we experience any specific problems with specific antivirus software.
Okay, I'm not sure whose question was this one because I can't see any login here. But if the person who have asked this question is still with us, please jump in here and let us know.
Okay, thanks to Peter. The only antivirus application in compatibility with Linguistic Toolbox is something that was actually fixed months ago in one of the quite early versions of LTB. There were some problems with opening LTB. When the antivirus application was opened, the auto-update process for LTB, which is automatic after launching LTB, could not be completed, and there was an error message saying that LTB main editor has encountered an unexpected issue and needs to be closed. And the solution for this problem was to add an exception in the antivirus application to allow the LTB auto-update process. This is quite old an issue, and I'm not sure if this is the same problem you're experiencing now.
Okay, thank you, Martina.
Okay, thank you for confirming that this is working again. No problem.
¿Qué c'è tutto? Estamos tarde. Che c'è tutti?
Okay, we are waiting for more questions. Okay, so I can share. A question. Yes, we will make the video recording available to you. Okay, so some of you complain that you cannot access the LTB instructions, or you don't know where to find it. So the LTB instructions can be found in the TMS references section. Okay, so once you go into an on-demand TMS project, for example, on-demand documents, and you go into the references section, this is where you can find the LTB config and report instructions. And then you can download it to your computer locally. I'm showing you the documents project, but the LTB instructions should be available in the references section of all on-demand projects. So, for example, I'm looking at on-demand graphic design now. I'm going into the references section. And again, the LTB config and report instructions are available. And I think they are very nice and clear with screenshots, so they should be helpful when it comes to generating the LTB reports with correct LTB configurations. Okay, so is the configuration file downloaded locally or is it used via the TMS? So no, we don't provide translators with LTB configurations offline. The configurations are backgrounded to the translation memories. Translation memories are available via translation workspace, and you can connect with them using XLIF editor while translating. But to download the configurations, LTB configurations, you need to access them via LTB itself. Okay, cleaning up the references section. Yes, we do it at least once a month. I know that some of the references can be quite messy, as I believe this is a problem in on-demand graphic design, especially this is because we upload also the source files into the references. But good point, yeah, we'll try to do the references cleanup more often. Martina, could you please help me out here? There is a question about using LTB on Linux and OS X platform.
For Mac machines, we need to have the Parallels application, a Parallels desktop application installed to be able to run LTB. And for Linux, I'm not aware of any compatibility. I have never heard of someone running LTB on Linux, probably, to be precise. So I'm not sure if the application is compatible with Linux.
Okay. So there is a question about the length limit for the folders to upload. To be honest, I'm not sure what is the length limit for the TMS. I know that it is a problem sometimes, and TMS doesn't accept your files if the name of the zip is too long. But to be honest, I'm not sure what is the limit.
And actually, what is the source of the problems with the length of the file or folder name? Is it the complex structure of the zip packet that is being uploaded to TMS?
I believe it is. Yeah. So actually, there are two problems. So sometimes there is a problem because the folder structure of the zip the translators check out is quite longish, and the other thing is that sometimes translators when saving the files locally on their computers, sometimes the local structure is basically too complicated and too lengthy.
Yeah, but actually the local folder structure, so it should not be something that influences the check-in of files in any
Okay.
way, because still the package is zipped on more or less the same level on which it was zipped when the checkout was done.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be some problems with actually Windows itself not making it possible to unzip a package checked out from TMS if the local structure is too long.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure whether this can influence what is later done in TMS in any way.
Okay. Okay, so the local structure shouldn't have any influence on the check-in, but sometimes translators go back to us, letting us know that they actually cannot zip a folder locally. So it could be a reason for that. And I know that there are some problems with the LTB reports naming. So if the name of the LTB report is too long, basically the TMS simply doesn't accept it.
Okay, but do we have any project or kind of specific reasons for keeping the LTB report name so long?
No, we don't actually, because the default name is not long, I guess. But sometimes translators try to rename the LTB reports after the project's name, and I think it causes problems sometimes.
Okay, yeah, but I don't think it is really necessary, because when you upload the LTB report in a package, it automatically gets associated with a given job.
No, so this is not
actually no need to rename the report in a different way than, I don't know, adding a language code or something.
Sure, you're right.
To analyze the report.
So this is not our requirement. I mean, this is not something on-demand requires. This is probably translators' goodwill and them wanting to make our lives easier, and that's why probably they try to rename the LTB after the project, but it's not necessary. You can keep the default name of the LTB, and as long as you deliver the LTB correctly, saving it into the deliverables folder, we should get it, no problems.
Yeah, exactly. We do appreciate the fact that the translation team is trying to make our lives easier, but to make your lives easier, I would suggest storing the LTB report. Providing the correct path. So the path that is simply the deliverables folder in the package downloaded from TMS. So providing this path as the path on which LTB report is generated. So you can do that in the main window in LTB. You can configure the space in which the LTB report will be stored. And this way you then no longer need to copy and paste the LTB report from one location to another, to the final one, which is the deliverables folder in the package you will later zip and check into TMS.
Okay, so there was a problem without renaming the report. I can't think of any reason at the moment. I would probably need to have a look at the zip you were trying to upload. But I know that the renaming the LTB reports was one of the reasons for behind TMS not accepting the packages. Okay. Okay, so Catherine was asking about quick checks. So actually, quick checks are not something we require from you. So actually, a basic LTB check for on-demand projects consists of segment checker, spelling, and term and punctuation. And these are the settings saved in all LTB configurations we use for on-demand. And you don't have to include quick components. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, there's one more problem coming to my mind, and this is something you also tend to get back to us about. So sometimes we fail your deliverables, saying that your LTB has been generated using incorrect configuration, and then you write us back with a screenshot attached showing us that you had used correct TM, the one required for a given project, and even though the TM is correct on your end, or was correct on your end, there is an incorrect LTB configuration backgrounded to the TM. So this is something we always check on our end, because it may mean that the translators of a given project have been using either incorrect TM or incorrect LTB configuration. So we always double check that on our end, and in most cases it turns out that actually there was an error on your end, and that basically some way on the way the TMs got mixed up. And in most cases it means that basically, okay, so for example, you were asked to use Click, so one of our clients' specific TM, and actually it was the TM shown on your end, and there was a generic configuration backgrounded to that TM on your end. But unfortunately, we are quite cautious about the clients who have customized LTB configuration backgrounded. And I don't think it ever happened that we had the generic configuration backgrounded to a client TM. So whenever it happens, and whenever we get back to you saying that you've used an incorrect or a generic configuration for a specific client with customized LTB configuration, it's probably an error on your end, and it means that somehow the TMs, the tokens, got mixed up, and if it happens, it means that you need to obtain a brand new token, and you need to configure your TMs anew. So Miko is saying that she had the same problem. It was specified to use the TM by end of message. I know that we had some cases where when you were working for a specific client, the one with customized CMs and configurations, but it could have been an error or on our end then. So probably a project configuration was generic for some reason. But if you can always double check in the TMS notification email you receive with TMS translation task. Okay, Mika, if you remember the project ID, it would be great, and we'll double check on our end to check if we don't have any mistakes, any errors in the project or in the project configuration or project instructions. Okay, thank you. Okay, ladies, Anya, Martina, would you like to add anything?
No, thank you.
Well, I would like to thank all of you to attend this QA session as well. And I would like to say that you will find new training materials regarding LTB and other Lionbridge tools under the reference tab in the TMS. So a lot of videos which we think will be very helpful to you. So that's all from my side.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining. We will share the video and we will let you know where to find all LTB related materials. Okay, so
Thank you very much, Anya.
if you don't have more questions, then have a good afternoon and good evening. Bye.
Bye.